All right. Good job. And you, I gotta do you too. 5 minutes. Nobody yet. Nobody yet. Uh, 3 people. If the 5 people. So if you can hear me and it's not glitchy, can you give me a oh, good job. Thank you guys. I'm just getting Facebook up and running. No, that's not what I want to do. This is what I want to do. I don't know why I always do that. Get this started. Oh, good morning, everybody. Hold on. Is it bright enough? Yeah, I think so. Hello, everybody. Hi, good morning. Good morning. Uh-oh. I got this. Is that as low as it'll go? Sorry. Talking to myself. Okay. Well, that's kind of high up. Oh, that's cool. Just looked at it. 1, 4, 3. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Sometimes I press the button and I don't. I feel like I did, but then it doesn't go. Okay. That should do it. That should do it. Good morning. We're waiting for Facebook to go. All righty. We're live on Facebook too. We've got a couple minutes. If you don't have a pencil or pen and something to write with, you should grab one because I had the inspiration to say that. So I'm saying it. If you have a pen, if you can, grab a pen or a pencil. Paper. I lost my page. We're just waiting a couple minutes. Couple minutes. Good morning. Good morning. Ooh, it's bright. Oh, well. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. There's not as many of us here right now as usual. I'm live, honey. So I'm doing this morning from my dining room because it is too cold to leave the house. And since you guys can't be there with me in the walls, here I is. It's just turning 10 o'clock, so we'll give it a couple more minutes for people to come in, get started. Good morning, honey. Please go downstairs. Did you notice that the name, that the title for today's talk is Kindfulness? I just reminded myself just now. Good morning. I'm just giving it 1 or 2 more minutes. Hello. Okay, good morning. I see Vi's lovely face. Good morning, Vi. Okay. Outside the YouTube, I can't see, who's here. But sometimes on Facebook. I can't always on Facebook either, though, just so you know. So if you're on there and I don't speak to you, it's because I don't see you. I don't, you kind of have to say something usually for me to see you. Okay, so let's just take some breaths together and get started. So I invite you just to close your eyes or relax your gaze as we take a few breaths together in through our nose and out. Another one in through our nose and out. And then one more in through our nose and out. And we recognize that there is nothing to do or be in this moment, that all is perfect exactly as it is. We recognize that we have been brought here to hear our own wisdom and our own knowing. We are open to the energy of our essence, to love in all its forms. We are open to giving and receiving love right here, right now. Maybe one more breath. And then I just started to read, but as you are ready, come back to this moment in time and place. Vi says, good morning, Unity of Appleton. Carol says, good morning, everybody. So I don't know where I want to start. I think that I want to start with a soulful experience that I had this just a couple of days ago. I think it was Friday, but I don't remember exactly what day. I was talking to my husband, and I had my one earbud in because I always lose the other earbud. That's just the way it is. So I had an earbud in, and I had it in because I was listening to a book earlier, and we were talking, and I was going to give, this kind of piece of advice to him about, being present and, asking for help. It was actually about asking for help and like opening up to and receiving help. And in that moment, in my earbud, it's Google because I have an Android phone. I did not spring for the Apple. So Google said to me in my ear, I don't know his name, but if you tell me, I'll remember. What is your father's name? And I said, what? And Google said again, what is your father's name? And so I said my dad's name, and Google said, great, I've created a contact. And so now in my phone, I have my dad's name in my phone, which I never had. And as I've shared with all of you, I call on Dad, who my dad has passed away, for those of you who don't know. I call on Dad all the time for help, right? And so Google literally, as I was talking to my husband about asking for help, Google says, I don't know his name. Tell me his name and I'll remember. And then, Tess, what's your dad's name? And I lost it. I was like, oh my gosh. And my eyes are getting big, and Keith can't hear because it's in my earbud. So that was a soulful experience that I had. One of the things that we do when we're together is we share those kinds of moments with one another. And it's such an amazing experience when we get to share those together. So I'm acknowledging and honoring that I missed that. And I can't wait till we're doing it again. And I encourage you, to do it with one another. Like that's the way that we really can strengthen our knowing. You share yours and it helps me. I share mine, it helps you. So, okay. So that was my experience, my soulful experience this week. Thank you for my thumb up. And I got a thumb up over here, so thank you for that too. So what did I want to tell you next? Okay, so kindfulness. So here's what happened. A couple weeks ago, I was taking the boys to school, and I said, "What were you talking about?" So I've talked to the boys about practicing mindfulness, and one of the ways that I talk about it is I'll point out and I'll say, "Do you know that after your brain, has registered that you see a picture in a certain place, a certain number of times, you no longer actually see that thing unless you get really present and mindful and look around. And we'll do it with buildings. Like you don't see that bank because we pass it every morning on the way to school. Your brain stops registering it, so you have to bring your attention and presence back to this moment so that you can begin to really experience and look around and see what is. So uh, so I was telling them about this, and all this, and I wanted to say, practice mindfulness. And what came out of my mouth was practice kindfulness. And I went, oh, that's a thing. I think I just made up a word. Oh, I really like that. I'm going to write that down. And so I got really excited about it and this concept of kindfulness. And then, and when I decided, I knew I was going to share it, with all of you. And I didn't know when, but I knew I would. And apparently today's the day. And in anticipation of today, here I am, I'm getting ready. I'm having all these points. I'm writing all these points down about kindfulness and what I'm going to share with all y'all about kindfulness. And it occurs to me, and I hear my thoughts say, how about look that up? Look it up and see if it's a thing. Because you guys, I had decided that I had made up a thing. Okay, so I made up kindfulness. That's what was happening. And I Google it, and I see that a guy, okay, I wrote down the phonetic spelling so I could pronounce it right. So there's a physicist turned mindfulness guru monk dude. That's his official title, by the way. And it's pronounced John Brahm. John Brahm. Okay, so I see that John Brahm, I'm just gonna call him Brahm. Yo Brahm. Has made this thing up already. And I watched, right, with kindfulness, what happened within me. So here's what happened. The first thing that happened was, oh no, I'm not special. Oh no, I didn't do that. Somebody else did. And then there was, oh, that Brahm dude. There's a jealousy kind of feeling, right? And so I'm watching all this. And what tends to happen, not tends to, but especially when we're first practicing mindfulness, but certainly, it can happen to us anytime, depending on where we are in our, on a particular day, mentally. What tends to happen is we think those things, and then what would happen for me most often was I go, Lydia, you are not being spiritual. What is wrong with you? And I would judge me for, number one, having the thought that said I'm not special, and then number two, being jealous of Ajahn Brahm. I just did it, Ajahn Brahm. And so what would happen is, instead of mindfulness bringing me back to the present moment, it would actually get me more entrenched in my thoughts, right? And so this idea of kindfulness, and I don't know, I think so. John Brahm wrote a book about it. I haven't read it, but I am going to order it now. And apparently, and so I don't know what he specifically says about it, but what came to me in thinking about kindfulness is this recognition that if we can have that word, in our brain, right? If we can have it in our mind and hold it there. Let's see, here's the thing. When, like me, we notice that we're not showing up in our life or in an interaction or relationship in the way that we want to, that's when we can practice kindfulness. We can watch it kindly and gently and not judge ourselves. So this morning, I said something to my husband and I walked out of the room, and I recognized as soon as I did it that I was being passive aggressive, that what I had just done was being passive aggressive. And just FYI, a couple hours before I'm talking to you guys about kindfulness. But I recognized that it was passive aggressive. And so what I did was, because by this time I was already upstairs and I was getting ready because I, come talk to you guys. Instead of judging me, I went kindfulness. I told myself, kindfulness, Lydia, kindfulness. Don't judge you because you just didn't show up in that interaction in the way that you would have wanted to. Because what actually prevents us from going back and showing up in a different way is our continued judgment of ourselves. If we can't get out of judgment for ourselves, then we won't be able to show up differently. And we know that, right? So that's the time to think of kindfulness before you have a hard conversation. Mindfully. So, yes, practice mindfulness. Be there, be present, be fully open in there, and kindly, gently recognize that you can look at what's happening, observe the thoughts and feelings and words that are coming out of your mouth kindly. Kindly? Yes. Now I don't know if I'm making up words or if it's a real word. Everything sounds like nonsense now. So, and do the same for the other person when we're having a hard conversation. Another time is before we sit down to dinner with our family or our spouse. Before doing something outside of our comfort zone, we can have within our mind, hold within our heart this concept of kindfulness, right? I'm about to do something outside of my comfort zone. So, what is bound to happen here? I am bound to get triggered, right? I'm bound to have judgmental thoughts about myself or other people. I'm outside my comfort zone. I'm doing something that, I'm stretching myself. So if we can have within our mind, yes, we're going to be mindful. We are going to be right here, right now, and we're going to do that in a kind way, a kind of gentle way. And what happens is, in any moment where we're brought out of mindfulness, we have the recognition, oh, kindly bring myself back to this moment. Not, oh my gosh, you checked out. What are you doing? That kind of judgmental voice. While in any situation, so during any situation in which we get triggered, right? So as soon as we can, when we are triggered, if we can say to ourselves, kindfulness, breath. And I'm going to share with you a tool that Deepak Chopra has. So this is the part that I was going to invite you to write down. I wrote it down. I've written this down in journals throughout the years, over and over. And what Deepak says is stop. So when he's talking about practicing mindfulness, and I think this sums up what kindfulness is. So stop. S stands for stop. So write the word stop. S-T-O-P. And by S, write stop. So at any moment where we're triggered, right, we stop. The T, next to T, write 3 deep breaths. So stop. 3 deep breaths. That was just one, right? O is observe our thoughts, observe our feelings, observe what's happening within our body, observe the situation. And then P, the P in stop, is proceed with kindness and compassion, right? So in any moment when we are triggered, if we can think of the word stop or kindfulness, right? These are all just tools. That's what we know. We know that these are tools. They are fingers pointing at the moon. It's not, the finger isn't important. The finger isn't important. What's important is what it's pointing toward. And what these tools are pointing toward is coming back with kindness and compassion and mindfulness to this present moment, right? And what Thich Nhat Hanh says is, our fear, anxiety, our hurt, these kinds of emotions, we are to approach them, treat them like our baby, right? So if a newborn infant cries, what does the mother do? The mother gently embraces the baby, right? Gently embraces. And so with these emotions, this fear, this hurt, it is our job to embrace them, to hold them gently, right? I love you. It's okay. Oh, I see you. You're okay. You're okay. I used to say that to my boys all the time. You're okay. You're okay. Can you imagine doing that? with those, with the hurt feelings and the angry feelings and the fearful feelings. Instead of judging them, right? Kindfulness, right? Okay. Oh, John Kabat-Zinn. I found in one of my journals. I went back through some of my journals in anticipation of talking to you guys today, and found a John Kabat-Zinn quote, and it's mindfulness is the gateway into the full dimensionality of being human. I'll say it again. Mindfulness is the gateway into the full dimensionality of being human, of being alive, the full dimensionality, right? Jesus said, have life and have life in its fullness. So, um, so we want to practice mindfulness. And if, and a key component to mindfulness is kindness. Mindfulness without kindness, we actually can't have them, because in any moment where kindness enters or unkindness enters, mindfulness has left the building, right? So we want to practice this kindfulness, because what happens is when we do that, right, what we're doing is we are able to make conscious choices in the moments of our lives, conscious choices. And one conscious choice after one conscious choice after one conscious choice, that is what creates a beautiful experience and a beautiful life, right? So we're no longer going basing decisions off of our pain or our triggers. We are basing them from a conscious, kind place. So I want to tell you, I want to share with you a poem. It's one of my favorite poems, and I think that I think it embodies this notion of kindfulness. And I got, for my birthday, I got this journal from one of you, and I didn't ask you permission, if I could say so. The one of you who got this from me, thank you. And actually, I got 4 journals, so thank all of you who got me journals. And I get it. I get the hint. I'm supposed to be writing in a journal, so yes, I'm on it. And the friend that gave this to me put this quote in because she knows that I love it just like she does. And I don't think that it's possible to have a favorite poem. So this is one of my favorites, and it's by Elizabeth Gilbert, and it is called How Shall You Proceed Today? So see if you can just take some breaths, enter into this moment, notice what's going on in your body, consciously open up your mind and heart to this moment, to the fullness of now, and with kindness and compassion, see if you can listen to these words. How shall you proceed today? By Elizabeth Gilbert. How shall you proceed today? Well, I've given you some simple things to do. Things that are so rudimentary, they fall well beneath the line of thought. This is my gift. This is to show you what easy feels like. I won't tell you how to prepare for the next 4 years or for the next 40, but look, here, sitting right in front of you, is a small thing. The cutting board has been used, and now it will need to be cleaned again. The roll of tape, which is out of its drawer, would very much like to be put back into its drawer. And it's time to add more wood onto the fire. After which, your chai needs to be reheated and then consumed. Can you manage all that? Look how well you do at it. Do you notice how such small, simple tasks never end? Can you see how generously I filled your life with the opportunity for one tiny, pleasant victory after another? You, who used to seek trophies and transformations. You, who wanted so badly to escape anything that felt ordinary. But now you're beginning to understand. What you once dismissed as ordinary is actually just a magical conveyor belt of tiny, achievable missions, each one designed to teach you how capable you are, and how necessary and marvelous. So here you go. Harness all your skills and talents toward putting your shoes back in the closet. Then gently close the door as only you can. Nothing is more important than that. Once you are finished, stand back and observe with me how beautiful it all looks. All these small things, nicely done. And you too, don't ever forget it. You are a small thing, nicely done. You feel that? That's what kindfulness feels like. That's what being mindful of this present moment, just this, just kindly, right? And I love this notion. This is like it's a cheering of ourselves on. That's what kindfulness feels like. It feels like cheering yourself on as you do one thing after another. Just this thing, kindly cheering you on. Look how well you do at that, right? Then this thing, and then the next. That's kindfulness, right? Hashtag kindfulness, everybody. Tweet, tweet. Okay. Yay. And I feel like there was actually, this is the perfect place. Here in my dining room, I feel like is the perfect place to have talked to you and to me about kindfulness, right? That's what I was this morning. I was kind to me. I did not make me go out in negative 25 heart, everybody. Thank you for the hearts. Yeah. I did not go out in wind chills of negative 25 or 35. So thank you for being here in my dining room. Okay, so I'm going to do the daily word, and I will tell you that I left the daily word last week at Unity, so I had to print it out. But so you know, everyone, for those of you who are not familiar, Daily Word is a Unity worldwide publication. You can find it at dailyword.com. It's a daily devotional, a small little devotional. It certainly is a small thing, nicely done. So I chose the word from yesterday because we can. And yesterday, I felt like it tied in well with this notion of kindfulness. So the word for yesterday, but now today, is thoughtful. So the affirmation, I am thoughtful with all my words and actions. I genuinely appreciate the thoughtful, caring gestures shown to me. These may come as words of encouragement, a note of appreciation, or another's patience when I'm feeling anxious or upset. I feel valued and heard. Moved to reciprocate, I express kindness and consideration to others. And I'm going to say, and also to myself, right? When I'm practicing kindfulness. I take time to contemplate the likely consequences of all I say and do. I remember that as I give, I also receive. I open my mind and heart to share understanding and love. I release any need to justify a position and instead choose to be a better listener. I remain mindful that we each have value and deserve to be heard. And I'll say each of our emotions, each of those negative feelings, our hurt, our pain, our fear, our anger, those deserve to be heard, right? That's where Thich Nhat Hanh says we embrace it. We embrace them. You're okay. I hear you. I hear you. My thoughtfulness is its own reward. I find joy in sharing myself in the way a flower shares its sweet fragrance. And the verse is Romans 12:17. Take thought for what is noble in the sight of all. So, daily word for the day is thoughtful. Unity of Appleton word for the day is kindfulness. So remember, stop. Take 3 deep breaths. Observe our thoughts and our feelings. and proceed with kindness and compassion. Okay. So I think that's all, everybody. We have a Zoom discussion that we do next. If you are not a member and would like to join that discussion, please reach out to us. We would love to have you join our Zoom discussion. It's an amazing time. We have a beautiful community where we share our experiences with one another, our insights, our ahas, and it's a great time. So if you're not a member and you'd like to join us, just send us a message. For all the rest of you folks, I will see you on the Zoom next, and we will do an official start of 12:35 because we're early. But we'll give it a couple minutes and say hellos too. But you can scoot on over right now if you want to. So I'll see you all there. Have a great day. Proceed with kindfulness. See you later. See you soon.